Right then, welcome to the new year, 2025. Yay! I think I'm not sure yet. Have to see how it goes, I suppose. All right. Welcome to the Ask Uncle Lee Wednesday slot. Now this should be the first video of 2025. So I just want to also mention before we begin, I am changing things around this year. Previously, I had the Monday musings, then the Ask Uncle Lee on Wednesdays, and the Demon of the Week on Saturdays. So the Demon of the Week I'm going to do during the month of January, and then I'm ending that so I can concentrate on other various content creation. But the Uncle Lee Wednesday is going to stay the same. It's going to carry on. I do need more questions. Please keep the questions coming, because if I got no questions, I got nothing to answer on this show. So therefore, it's kind of a moot point at the end of the day. So keep the questions coming. Make sure we've got some content to actually carry on with. But the Monday musings videos, what I'm going to do, I'm keeping them, but what I'm doing, I'm moving them to Sunday. So this Sunday, you will see. I'm renaming it to Arcane Sundays. And what's going to happen is they are going to be premiered at. Let me just get my times right again. So those are going to be at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. GMT time. And then that's going to be a premiere, so I'll be in the live chat with everybody. And then an hour after that, so depending on how long the video is going to be, but then at 5 p.m. GMT, I'll start the Covenstead live, which is just the normal thing. We're going to carry on with that normal slot, normal time, everything as usual with the Covenstead. So it's going to be the Arcane Sunday premiere video, and I'll be in the live, and then directly after that, I'll give you time to go and get a cup of coffee or something. But directly after that, starting on the next hour, we will begin with the Covenstead live. All right, so join me for that on Sundays. And yeah, but besides that, let's get into today's video. Okay, so the first question is from Kilo Papa. Hi, Uncle Lee. This is a long one, as you can see. So bear with me while I go through this. Hi, Uncle Lee. Thank you for all you do. I love your channel and Patreon. Thank you very much. My husband and I are new, 5 months to demonology, just discovered a long-term astral parasite and took care of it last week. The astral parasite was impersonating some of the demons I've been working with, and since it had been there before, we found demonology, unintentional astral travel or something. I don't know what the true energy signatures of the demons I was working with feel like. It's all strange and confusing. My concern is trusting my divination again. Without it, how can I be certain there aren't additional astral parasites or lingering parasitic energy? Is there a way to test my pendulums and tarot cards to know if there's still interference, or a way to test myself to make sure I'm not compromised? I know one could ask simple questions to test the pendulum, but what if an astral parasite knows the answers because it's in your mind? Or if my own energy is still off, that it compromises the integrity of the divination. We take weekly sensory deprivation salt soaks, and now we're going to start Qigong, regular home cleansing rituals, and warding everything. Great video about protection and wards on your Patreon. Thank you again. With these cleansing rituals in Qigong, is there a safe time frame for one to feel confident that everything is purified and at an energetic level that's higher than astral parasites and negative energy? Thank you so much, and apologize for long questions. No, don't apologize for long questions. We like long questions. Okay, so first of all, what you might want to try and do is find somebody you trust who can do divination for you, just for a period of time, because even if you do it yourself and even if it's correct, you're probably going to be questioning whether you got the right answers, and you're going to, be doubting yourself because you're worried that this astral parasite still has that influence over you. So my suggestion to start with would be to, just try and find somebody who you can trust with that divination, and it needs to be somebody you trust. You might want to find a friend. This is why we suggest finding communities, and when we talk about communities, it's people that it's a small group of people, not a large, huge, Facebook group. This is a small, tight-knit group of people that you can trust and you can work with, and you can therefore go to for help when you need it. And that might be help in magic, help with divination, all of that stuff. So try and find those people in your life, the little, you create your own little coven, and you may not function as a coven, but it's a group of witches who get together every now and again and just talk about magic and do whatever you need to do. Now, the other thing here is you're doing everything right regarding cleansing work, and warding. You're doing warding and everything. So I don't have anything to suggest there, because you're going to be doing it. You're probably already doing it now, that by the time I've answered this question, from the time you actually posted it. Qigong is excellent. It gets the energy flowing. It clears out any blockages within the vessels and the meridians and things like that, and it really gets the energy flowing properly. And when the energy is flowing properly, those blockages are removed. It prevents buildup of negative energies in various areas, which then attract more negative energies. I don't think you have much to worry about, to be honest. You have identified an astral parasite. You have taken steps to remove it. You are continuing to increase that the practice itself, to improve the practice by adding things like Qigong and doing your warding and cleansing your home, and just keep doing, you can do daily cleansings. As I've mentioned many times before, when I take my morning shower, I also just do a sweep, almost like get rid of all the negative dirt, as well, the energetic dirt, as well as the physical dirt. So you can do that as well, just daily. So there's all those things. You're doing it. I don't think you're going to have any problems. Let's put it that way. But when it comes to divination, if you can find somebody who can do it for you for a period of time, and what you can do is you can work together. So if you want to ask questions of your pendulum and then get your friend to kind of confirm the answers, and then work together, test things together until you get that confidence back that everything's now okay and you can move forward. That would really be my suggestion. So I am going to not complicate that and move on to the next one. We may only just do 2 questions per week at the moment. As I said, I do need more questions, so we might just run out slightly. All right, so the next one is from Atna5523. Hello, Lee. Thank you very much for your channel. It helps a lot. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you. My question is, do demons have the water element? A person told me the other day that deities don't have the water element and don't have compassion or love. Obviously, I know the last part to be false, but the water element made me confused. The person told me that all ancient texts said this and that it was common knowledge. What's your take on this? So, if I am understanding the water element part correctly, are there entities that are associated with the element of water, just as they may be associated with the various different planetary energies and things like that? Yes, there are. If I'm understanding that correctly, you said, do demons have the water element? We could speak, because when we're talking about demons or daemons, we are talking about a very broad group of beings. Daemon being the interpretation within modern demonology is divine intelligence, and that covers a lot of different entities. we could include elemental beings into this. And obviously then we have beings which are water elements, nymphs, undines, the watery type of spirits. But I assume you're talking about the chthonic spirits, like the spirits from the grimoires and things like that, Jinn, etc., etc. We do have them which are more closely related to various different elements, and water element is one of those. Whether they hold water or have water or are of a watery constitution, that's a bit of a different thing, and probably not. But then they're not really of any kind of constitution. They're not made of earth or made of fire. We could argue that the Jinn are made of fire, but it's not actually fire; it's plasma. If we were to argue that point, so they're not made of air. They're not made of water, etc., etc. They're made of energy. But that then gets probably assigned to these elemental beings, the sylphs and the gnomes and the salamanders and the undines. Those are the elemental spirits themselves. So in that association, sure. Now, do they have compassion and love? Okay, you said that you know that to be false, that they do have compassion and love. The person who told you this said that they do not have compassion and love, and both are actually correct. This is where things get a bit tricky. So if we are to consider the gods and the goddesses to not have ego, then because they do not have ego, they will not have compassion and love for anything or anybody, all right? And that is one take on this. That is, some people believe that to be true. I'm really on the fence about the whole thing. But if they do have ego, and we could say, if we look into the mythologies and the legends and the stories and things like that, we can say that they do have ego, they do have personality. And because they have society, they interact, they have wars, they fall in love, they have they have children, etc., etc. So they have societies like we do, and they have commerce, etc., etc., etc. And therefore we could say that yes, they do have ego, they do have personality, and therefore they can have compassion and love for humans. So which one's correct and which one's wrong, we can't say. These are not three-dimensional human beings. They are of a completely different dimensional state. They exist in a parallel reality. And it's difficult to actually say for certain. There are no absolute truths, again. So, yes, both correct, really. The way you said the person told me that all ancient texts said this, and that was common knowledge. I'm not really sure where they're coming up with that. To be honest with you, I can't think of any ancient text myself that said this. So, I don't know. I'd have to find out from the person, I suppose. But yeah, so yes, they do have compassion and love. At the same time, there are some worldviews and some people who believe they do not have compassion and love. They really don't give a shit about us. They are just in that instance, in that take, in that particular worldview, they are simply forces. They are elements or forces of nature, that kind of just flow through our lives, and they have influence on us. They can direct us, they can move us around, but they don't actually have compassion and love. They don't care. That's not my experience personally, but it doesn't mean that it's not correct or that it's incorrect. It's just a different worldview, a different take, a different perspective, a different experience that some people have. So, yes, I think that answers that question. All right, that's going to be it for today. As I said, I need more questions, but I'm only going to be doing 2, maybe 3 a week, depends on the length of some of them, are quite short, for the month of January. All right, so keep the questions coming, and then we can carry on into February, March, etc., for the rest of the year. Okay, and I'll see you then. Have a good one. Cheers for now. Bye bye.